Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. Ours is a place where dreams take flight, voices are heard, and stories are shared. This is where cultures meet, connections are formed, and ideas are transformed into action. This is your destination for authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives, and meaningful conversations. We're where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover our world of education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our USA Global TV channel and download our USA Global TV app. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. With heartfelt thanks to our executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, music scored by Yifei Tang from Cloud Road Music, creative direction by Paul Garcia, and I'm Al Cini, and I'm very proud to be part of the USA Global TV and Radio family. So join us here at USA Global TV and Radio. Make us your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited. Thank you for being a part of our global community. Let's inspire together.
This is Let's Finally Talk, a heart-to-heart with Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Live streaming every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm your host, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Join me on YouTube at Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, on Facebook at Dr. Jacalyn, and on Instagram at Dr. Jacalyn, as seen and heard on the USA Global TV and Radio Network worldwide. We've earned the YouTube Silver Creator Award, and I've earned the 100 Global Top Women Icons in Media. My TV shows are Iconic Women, Creating a World of Possibilities, Judgment, the Hidden Sin, A Woman's Prerogative, Sisterhood Across Borders, It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, and the latest updates. Thanks so much for watching. See you tomorrow. We're streaming every night live on Let's Finally Talk. Welcome to our show today. Our topic is when clarity costs you a relationship. This is Let's Finally Talk, a heart-to-heart with Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and I am your show host. Guess who I am? Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Everything I will be sharing is based on a platform that I founded called Elevated Listening, and we can talk a little bit more about that as the show continues. So do subscribe to our channels. We're USA Global TV and Radio, and also Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Today, I want to talk about something that really doesn't get said enough, especially when it comes to conversations that are about growth and healing and self-respect. Sometimes clarity costs us, you, me, a relationship. Not because you were unkind, not because you stopped caring, not because you stopped participating in the confusion. Many of us are taught that when a relationship ends, someone is at fault. And I don't know about you, but through the course of my life, 62 years of age, there have been many people who have walked through the doors of my life, and I appreciate all of them, because whether it was friendship, professional, personal, whatever kind of relationship it was always an opportunity for growth. But sometimes a relationship ends and we don't know why. And there's that nagging part of us that's just eating away at us inside, thinking, I want to know why. I want to contact the person. I want to have the answer. And sometimes the answer isn't available. Maybe because the person's no longer here. Maybe because the person doesn't want to hear from us. And yet it sits there sort of like just this nagging feeling that we'll never know why it ended. But what we do know is with every ending comes a beginning and comes clarity. And clarity is the key to help us open our mind to something else. But it is one of the hardest truths to accept that we don't know why something's ending. We go back to old patterns. I must have failed. They must have given up. I must not be good enough. They must not ever have cared about me. Have you ever told yourself these things? And by the way, if you're out there watching on the live, please drop me a comment, because I'm standing here by myself in my studio and I would love to know that somebody's actually out there listening to me. So you could just put where you're watching from, or maybe an experience that you've had, or what you'd like to get out of this episode. But I'd really, really, truly like to hear from you. So what actually happens when a relationship ends is that we can get this clarity. And so what we start to see are patterns more clearly. We actually kind of closed ourselves off to seeing what is obvious to so many other people. So have you ever had a relationship end and then you're talking to someone and they'll say, yeah, I saw it coming. I didn't want to say anything, but I knew it wasn't going to work out. And you think to yourself, I don't understand. Why didn't I see that it wasn't going to work out? We didn't see it because we didn't want to see it. And then when it ends, sometimes we tell ourselves stories about what we thought it could have been. We start going into this world of make-believe. And I've shared with you, I've got great nieces and nephew, and I love just crawling around on the floor playing make-believe with them. But as grown-ups, we know that there is a reality to things. And even though in our mind, we like to think that the relationship is something that it wasn't, the clarity actually comes when the relationship is over. And sometimes we go through a grieving process. You know, we go through all the different stages and we're still in denial. We don't want to accept the fact that the relationship is over. And maybe there's a certain part of us that's hoping and praying that it will be revived, that maybe that person will walk back through the door, the person that left you, whether it's physically or figuratively, maybe they'll come back into your life in some way. Well, this is very typical and it's very normal and there's no judgment about it. Is it the healthiest thing that can happen for you, for me? I don't have the answer to that, because loss can be painful. And this is the important part, even when it's necessary. Just because there's clarity and we can say, okay, they left, it's over, I was let go, whatever the case may be, that doesn't mean that we have a feeling of relief, but it does bring grief. And it also brings an opportunity for us to accept things as they really are. Now, you may grieve the version of the relationship that you had hoped it would be. That's what I was just talking about. You may grieve the version of yourself. You really put yourself into it. You dedicated yourself. You made sacrifices. You worked harder at this relationship than maybe any in the past. And yet there's that feeling of familiarity, that person that you've come to know, those patterns that you've come to accept, whether they were good for you or they weren't. Now, all of a sudden, they're gone. And so we are left with the clarity in some cases that we're alone. And to some people, that is the most frightening thing they could possibly think of. Oh my goodness, now what? Now is a great opportunity to look at what's being presented, to look at what really was and what never actually existed. I've talked before about the stories that we tell ourselves, and I've just talked to you about being in denial. When we are able to actually see the clarity, to see the truth, to me, that is emotional intelligence. And it doesn't come right away, not to all of us. We have to actually work on it because we get so highly emotional that we can't see the truth for what it is. Maybe you were never intended to be in that relationship, but you fought for it so hard. Maybe the person really wasn't interested in you. Maybe you were in a career that you couldn't stand, but you didn't want to let go. And then when it's finally over, it could even be a relationship you have with yourself. The stories that you tell yourself. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I just had this today in two different experiences, and I'll just talk briefly about them. I started a nonprofit today, USA Global Voices of Humanity Foundation, and I invited some people to be on the board. So today was the first board meeting. I have never chaired a board meeting. I am a board member of the Crohn's Colitis Foundation, but this was something different. And as people were coming into the space and I had my agenda, I started getting nervous and I thought, who am I to actually be leading this board meeting? What do I know about leading board meetings? And then I thought to myself, it doesn't matter that I've never led a board meeting. What matters is my passion for why we're doing it, my passion for wanting to give the voiceless a voice. And so something shifted inside me. But then it didn't last long. Later in the day, I started doing my studies. I'm enrolled at Wharton School of Business, and I'm taking the Chief Strategy Officer course. And today was the first day that we were exposed to the content. And the last time I had any formal education was when I was getting my doctorate. And that was in 2011 when I graduated. So I'm going through the materials and I'm watching some of the videos and I'm seeing what some of the assignments are. And I kind of panicked for a moment. I thought, what if I'm not smart enough to do this? What if I don't have the attention span? What if I'm too old? All these things. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to walk away from the computer for a little while because there's a reason that I applied for this. And there's a reason why I was accepted. And there's a reason why I'm supposed to be doing this. But yet I doubted myself. And sometimes I still doubt myself. When I come here before you with whatever it is I'm going to present, I don't know if people are watching. I don't know if anyone cares. I don't know if it resonates. But yet I feel compelled to come and share with you my experience and my extreme desire for each and every person to find peace in their life. I read social media posts, even from people I know, and they're so filled with anger. They're almost like trying to pit one person against another and see what will happen. And my first thing that I want to go to, because I have the clarity about it, is I don't want to be in a relationship with this person. I don't want this person on my team. These are the first things that come up for me. And then I think, you know what? I can't control people's speech, right? Freedom of speech, free will, but I can control how I react to it. So I look at my relationship with myself and what is the clarity that I need? What is the clarity that I have? And so I would propose that to you. Are you living in a dream world? Are you telling yourself things that are not actually true, whether it's about yourself or whether it's about someone else? We recently had a guest on, and I think this is so interesting what she shared. When we talk about ourselves, many times, I know with me, I use the word you, meaning me. You are so fat. I say this to myself all the time. You're so fat. You're disgusting. I can't stand you. But I never say I am so fat or I am disgusting, because part of me doesn't actually believe it. But yet I use the term you. So I have to look at the clarity. What is the clarity coming up for me based on that show? I wasn't interviewing the guests, but I really thought that was fascinating. So when we talk to ourselves, are we using you, you're this and you're that? Or are we saying, you know what, I, Jacalyn Kerbeck, am this or that? When I say it like that, it comes across in a different way. No, I'm not disgusting. No, I'm not fat. But why, when it's you, meaning me, do I feel more comfortable saying it, almost like I deserve it? I don't know. We'll talk about that on another show. But part of it is about the clarity. Are you telling yourself a story? Are you living in a state of denial? Are you looking at another person and imagining that the person is someone other than who they are? Do you think to yourself, if I could just fix this one thing, it would be perfect? Now, I can tell you this. I have never changed anyone. And no one's ever changed me. We just change because we want to, because we feel compelled to. But we cannot change anyone else. Now, are there methodologies that people use, torture, etc., that they can change people? I don't think that's changing. I think that's breaking people down. Do we want to break people down so that we can have them be whatever it is that we want to be? Or should we work on our own selves? Should we work on ourselves and have the best relationship with ourselves that we possibly can? That's what I advocate for. So when you think about clarity, what is coming up for you? And by the way, do we have any comments? Let me see. We have a comment, which I don't know what this means or when it was intended, but we have from Carlos Perez. No, sir. Okay, Carlos, I don't know what that means, but thank you for watching. So for anyone out there who would like to watch and would like to engage or like to just share where it is you're coming from, again, it really means a lot when I'm standing here and asking you to do it. So one of the most difficult moments in growth is realizing that some relationships have depended on or are dependent on our silence or our flexibility or our self-doubt or our willingness to smooth things over. What do we call this? We call this people pleasing. If I don't say anything, maybe it'll just stop. If I don't acknowledge it, if I close my eyes to it, maybe it will just go away. But will it? I don't know. But how we show up and how we're reacting, that might live with us for our entire lives. I've shared this before. I did some research, and I don't remember which institute it was. It was one of the Ivy League universities, that someone can say something very hurtful to you and you can forgive them. But it may take up to 20 years for you to forget what they said. And in the moment when someone says something negative to you, when someone says something mean to you, there is clarity in that moment if you choose to accept it. If someone insults you and says, "Oh, I was just kidding," do you think they were really kidding? No, I don't think so. It's part of being judgmental. And so there can be clarity for you and for me in those moments. So we have a choice. And I've shared this many times. As humans, we get the choice to set a boundary. We get the choice to say, I will spend my time being upset about this, or I will look for a solution. I will say, thank you for coming into my life, and thank you for leaving. Thank you for the lessons that you shared while you were in my life. As opposed to, I can't believe this person's not in my life anymore. That person's not, this person left me. I've heard this from many people. Well, people always leave me. Maybe they're meant to leave you. Maybe you're meant to learn something from them. I always turn it into the other perspective. What is the positive that we can take away from it? Because let's face it, our life here is very short. And we can choose to spend it in a place of negativity, in a place of anger, in a place of disillusionment, or we can turn it the opposite way. When you have clarity in your life, you no longer need to play the person who's just going to be quiet, the yes person, the person who will just listen endlessly to someone go on and on about how horrible they are. What ends up happening is, you are no longer the peacemaker. You're no longer the explainer. You're no longer someone's emotional doormat. You're no longer the one who carries the burden. Now, when these roles start to disappear, what can happen? You may feel lonely. You may feel lost because your identity was wrapped up in this. And this can happen a lot in a person's career, or as a parent and the children are leaving and the children are not at home anymore. And all of a sudden you're kind of like, wow, who am I? What is my role? And this can be very heavy, but yet it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to explore another chapter of your life. And you can say to yourself, you know what? The kids are grown. We did a great job with them. We did the best we could with them. And now I have an opportunity to do something to make me happy. Or I'm so grateful I had this opportunity in the corporate world. And now this chapter is coming to an end. Maybe you're coming to the time of your life when you're planning on retiring. I'm 62. I retired from my corporate career. And someone just said to me the other day, I don't think you're really retired. You know what? I'm having a blast. No, I'm not really retired. I'm retired from that. But I work typically 90 to 95 hours a week. And I don't really consider it to be work because it's kind of like being a creative entrepreneur. I just absolutely love it. So it's all a matter of how you look at things. So I hope for you that you will be able to have the clarity in 3 areas. 1, about yourself. Who are you really? What are the stories that you're telling yourself that really aren't true? That maybe you can just drop them. Maybe you can write it in a journal and say, for years, I've been telling myself that I'm this, this, and this, and I'm actually not. And the next is about the relationships that you have with other people today, currently. What is actually real and what stories are you actually telling yourself? My mother, who was my best friend, I really loved her so much. She would always say, if I only had a magic wand. And I would say, Mother, there is no magic wand. So there's nothing that's going to come out of space and say, you know what, this relationship isn't working. You need to see it. I need to see it. We need to have that kind of clarity to take a step back and say, wait a minute, this seems to be very one-sided. Or maybe you're the one who's doing the one-sidedness. Maybe you're the one that can look at the situation and say, you know what, I'm actually not giving 50%. I'm actually taking 80%. I don't know the answer for that. And then the last scenario is making peace with the relationships that are over. Instead of spending time thinking about, why did he leave me? Why did she do that to me? What happened to the people I was friends with? With the pandemic, there was a huge shift. I had a whole group of people that I was friends with, and now I have nothing to do with, even though they live probably 20 miles from me. I don't know why, but it's over. And that's okay. It's okay because things happen in life and we get the clarity and we get the space to think about new things. What can you create today for yourself, for today, and for your future? I want to thank you so much for listening. I have another show that I'm going to do after this, but I want to leave you with this. This is the golden rule. And one of my friends in Greece made this for me. It's 3 questions that I want you to ask yourself about yourself before you speak, before you write, before you post. These 3 questions. 1, is it kind? 2, is it necessary? And 3, is it true? And when I say, is it true? Is it your version of the truth? Did you take the entire story and you condensed it to this and you left out the rest? That's what I see on social media all the time. People will take 1 or 2 sentences that someone said and they'll put that in a social media post, but they don't have any of the information that came before it or after it. And I get really upset about this because I'm a peace ambassador. And for me, everything that we post has to have some type of peer review, meaning that we did research to see, is this actually true? So before you share something on social media that someone else posted, do your own fact checking with 3 different sources. Maybe say to yourself, today's the day I have clarity and I choose not to engage with negativity. I will not judge it, but I will not engage. I will not post negative comments. I will not think negative thoughts. I will replace them with positivity. And when we do that, we can have the clarity that we need to actually be at peace. Peace without drama. Peace without waiting for the other shoe to fall. Just being happy and grateful for where we are at this moment. If you'd like to contact me, you can do so. All of my contact information is in the notes. I'll share some of them here. I do private advisories by application only. If you are going through severe burnout, if you're a leader and you're somewhat lost, you have no one to talk to, I am the listening mentor. This is what I do. I listen to people for a living. Okay, you can also go to my websites, which are usaglobaltv.com and drjacalyn.com. Or you can email me at drjacalyn@usaglobaltv.com. I do have one thing to ask, though. Whatever it is, if you decide to share, please do it in a positive and respectful manner. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. I will leave you with a little kind of entree into my first single that I recorded in London just 2 months ago. And it's been mastered by Abbey Road, and it's featuring Maddie Loveday. So it's actually me singing, and Maddie Loveday is in the chorus, which I don't think you hear in this clip. But you can get Please Listen to What I Say over on Apple, iTunes. You can get it on Spotify or Amazon. Thank you so much. I'll be right back with our next show.
Listen, babe, now. 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 Listen, babe, now.
Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? In a world quick to judge, one book dares to reveal the hidden cost of silence. Discover Holy but Harmful, The Silent Sin of Judgment, How Hidden Judgments Destroy Relationships and Damage Lives by Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. The Amazon #1 bestseller that's transforming the way we understand ourselves and the way we see others. Pick up the companion workbook to uncover your own hidden judgments and learn how to break free from them. Available now on Amazon and at fine bookstores worldwide.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA-Global-TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting. We're building bridges and changing lives, one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.